Hey everyone, it's Josh. I just want to take a quick second to say if you're enjoying the podcast, please like, subscribe, rate, or comment. All of those things help out tremendously. It helps me get better sponsorships, helps me get better guests. I'm able to take this on the road, more consistent video, so many different things. It's all free. So please take a second to help support me by liking, subscribing, commenting, or rating. Also, if you want, there's a donation button. I don't expect anything, but even like 99 cents, there's a couple different options a month. Helps so much. Thank you, and enjoy the episode. Welcome back into the podcast, episode 7. Today we have Darien Saaidifar. He helps me guest host. We get into some 90s Turtles movies. He'd never seen them, so I showed him the first one. We watch about 12 minutes of it. Well, maybe not that long, but, you know, we watch a good chunk of it just to kind of get him familiar. If you're an 80s, 90s kid, you're going to love that. We also talk about DC Baltimore sports, Ravens, Redskins, get into a little bit about Kobe. I know there's kind of mixed feelings, but as far as sports go, he was a big deal to me, and I wasn't even a fan of him, to be honest. I was always a Jordan guy, so pretty interesting there. And then we also talk about the legendary HFSTIVAL. HFS, this radio station, was a huge part of me growing up, a big influence in the music I like, and it was just legendary. The festivals, the radio station, just everything. That was back in the day with MTV. They were like the MTV of radio. Think of it like the East Coast K-Rock is how I always thought. And honestly, at some points, it was probably even bigger. So enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you after.
Welcome to the Just Josh podcast.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you?
This whole thing is a little weird.
Never yet fear, laddie buck.
Welcome back into the podcast, episode 7. Today we got Darien Saaidifar in. How's it going, man?
In elementary school, somebody called me Saidi Fart, and now everyone started.
That stinks. That stinks. I mean, my name's pretty simple, Kutcher, but with the S in there, it throws it off.
Yeah.
So some people are like, what the heck? Kusher. Sometimes if they're an N in there, it's Kushner. And I'm like, sometimes they just
Don't want that.
can't even say. I'm like, it's not that hard a name, but I see where they get it wrong. But
Right.
yeah, well, thanks for coming in, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You and Ashley both drove pretty far to come see me, and I appreciate it because in studio is always more fun. And
We're talking about like our bad ADHD of just staring.
well, that's another thing. I'll get distracted because I'll be looking at all the stuff on the wall.
Yeah, same. I'm that way too.
But yeah, thanks for coming in, man. Darren is kind of in here as guest host. He also is a musician, a singer-songwriter as well. He plays around town a lot. Just a great dude. Really good music too. So I want to get him here, and we'll go through some of that as well a little later on.
This coffee's good, by the way.
Oh.
French press is awesome.
Oh my goodness! So if you come into the studio, I always have fresh coffee made.
Yeah.
We have a French press. I got the skull theme going on just because I'm an outgoing and like upbeat guy, but at the same time, I like skulls. I wear a lot of black, and I like skulls, and it doesn't mean I'm like mad or angry or anything.
You're a pirate.
It's just easy. It's just easy to do that. But yeah, you'll come in, you get some coffee, and then anything else. I try not to do the drinking.
And your mic smells like alcohol, and
Oh yeah, well I have wipes and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
right
good.
Yeah, I always have that prepared. So as soon as everyone leaves, I always wipe everything down. But who are some of your influences, or some of the bands that you grew up like? What kind of music? I know you listen to a little bit of everything, but maybe a couple of the bands that kind of define what your style is and influence what your style.
the one band, as we see here, is 311.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. No, I know you're. I think that's how we met through 311, right?
My first memory of seeing you was at the Fillmore in line to get in at 311. I think it was
The double date where they
yes.
did the 2 days. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Oh yeah, that is right. We were around the corner.
Yeah, and
Wait in line. Okay,
because
yeah.
when I got there, I'm like, boy, it's a short line, and then they're like, no, it's around the building, and I was like, oh, that makes more sense now. But then, actually, you'd mentioned when I did the what's it called, the Warped Tour, Ballyhoo at Warped Tour in 2012.
The best dudes, man. I can't say enough nice things about them.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're also huge on me. I saw them for the first time in, I believe it was 2008. Social media doesn't capture someone's whole life, but it seems to me like Howie's always working. He's so busy. Like that's like I admire that.
I mean, if you want to make it and you want to sustain something, you got to be.
Yeah,
You know, it's a lot of work, but I'm sure he gets a lot out of it. And even more than the music, I support the guys. You know, for me, that's always been the main thing. So anything I can do to help them, you know, is really the point. Going back to some of your influences, so 311 and Ballyhoo, and I assume you're a lot younger than me, but it seems like you listen to a lot of 90s and 2000s stuff too, which is for some of the young people, a lot of people your age don't listen to, and it's weird because I'm getting at the age where I'm starting to realize I'm old in the sense of what kids and is currently popular. To me, it still feels like the 90s, 2000s, like it was yesterday.
Right.
I'm still kind of into the same stuff. A lot of the styles are still around, and the music in general and those bands, but it's not. But then when you think about it, it's like, man, that was 30 years ago.
Right.
1990 was 30 years ago.
Isn't that ridiculous?
And even though it still influences a lot of today, it's not. It's not something that most people under the age of 30 even really listen to.
My older brother is he's going to be 33 in a few weeks.
Okay.
And but because he's 7 years older, and he's actually a major part of the reason I'm into, because that's the first that light bulb in my head as
That's
soon
cool.
as you said.
So he's my age. He kind of gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. And before there was Spotify or YouTube or anything, he had this. He had a few MP3 players from time to time, even going back to Walkman, like CDs and stuff. His room was next to mine, and I was told repeatedly, stay out of his room. He'd tell me stay out of my room because he's a teenager, he's going out with his friends, and my mom wouldn't buy these CDs for me. So I'd kind of tiptoe into his room. I'd always be standing up and listening to this music because as soon as I heard the steps. Coming up the steps, I was like, "Oh, gotta go."
I like how you did your own sound effect. I didn't even have to load anything. That was very kind of you.
Yeah, I'm just reliving that moment, like trying to think of some CD, like obviously Sound System, Good Charlotte's first album. The one with all
me
four of
too.
them.
It sucks that after that they just sold out when they started to do the I Just Wanna Dance.
Yeah,
I'm not hating. I love Good Charlotte. They were actually a huge influence on me because they came out right when I was at that age, like 13, 14.
another Maryland band.
And another Maryland. We have some good Maryland music, man. We got
yeah.
Bumpin' Uglies and Ballyhoo, who's
Bumpin'
out there
Uglies.
still doing stuff.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got All Time Low.
That's right.
All Time Low, Good
yeah.
Charlotte. I'm missing some. Even Counting Crows from back in the day was from Maryland.
Oh, really?
Tupac was here at one point,
He stopped by.
Yeah, he stopped by. He was I think he was originally, like, he went to high school here with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they went to school together, like middle school or high school together.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think of, there's other bands that are from Maryland, like ones I'm forgetting that are pretty big.
Another CD I remember him having is the Fundamental Elements of Southtown by P.O.D.
Oh yeah.
That was a
See, I went through phases. When I was really young, it was like Green Day and just like punk music and 90s and rock music like Nirvana, Sublime, 311, all Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weezer. Like that's the music that I really listened to. Then as I think I got older and I started to get into like rap, but I wasn't like, I didn't dress it or I just enjoyed it. But they had good rap music that was out. It was like Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, DMX. I like the ones like Common, Nas, Tech Nine, the ones that like told stories and stuff like that. Those were my favorite. That's what I was into.
Busta Rhymes.
But yeah, at that time, that was like what was popular too. It was like the rock and the rap and like that kind of 90s rap with like Puff Daddy and stuff that. But I like Tupac and Biggie and stuff like that too.
I'm big into Cypress Hill and, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, some other bands that I was forgetting was
Jimmy's Chicken Shack.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack. That was actually one of the first songs my guitar teacher ever taught me. I mean, I learned on my own by ear. No, High.
Oh.
Just because it was so easy. It was like open E, I think. It was so easy. But it sounded dope. And I've seen him recently, and we're friends in general. But sweet guy, and I love their music. And that I just OAR is originally from here.
I think because you know, I
That's
used
a lot
to
of good bands, man.
I used to play in a band, and
A lot of diversity too.
yeah, for
And there's
sure.
some metal bands too. I'm forgetting someone. A lot of bands are getting back. You were talking about how like there's a lot of anniversaries and like or reunions and just different bands from like I noticed a lot of 15-year reunions with the punk bands and stuff like that in
Oh,
like the
yeah.
early 2000s. But Rage Against the Machine's coming back. We got My Chemical Romance is coming back, which is confirmed. And
Never
then
thought would happen in a million years.
yeah, and I actually just watched the video of them, the first show they did out in L.A. or wherever, and they sounded good.
Yeah, they tuned their guitars way down, but that's
He's not dressing in black. He's now wearing jean button-down shirts,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but he still rocks. And then also Red Hot Chili Peppers just brought back John Frusciante,
oh my
which is
gosh, I couldn't. I'm still like I can't stop smiling about that.
I've only seen them with John. I saw him right before I think he left the first time. I was super young, and it might have been at like a festival or something that my dad took me to.
I might have just been born or not been born yet.
And then he left, and then when he came back, I saw him again. But then I haven't seen the Chili Peppers minus maybe a festival or something, or maybe I've seen them, but it was once in the last decade when Josh was with them.
Yeah.
So where a lot of people are excited that John's back because they've never seen him because it's
Yeah.
been so long.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it seems like yesterday. I'm like, wait, that's what I was going. We were talking about how I'm getting older. I'm like, wait, I'm not current anymore. Like what I'm into is not current.
Yeah.
I still, for some reason, just in my mind when they're like, oh, he's back, and people are saying, I'm like, I've already seen him with them, but to me, it's the norm. But then I forget that it's been 10 years, and I'm like,
Flies right
man.
by. I mean, I was 15, 10 years
Rage
ago,
is
so
another
it's
band I
been
got to see. I've seen him 3 times.
Jeez.
And I saw him right before they broke up at HF Festival. I feel like it was like right before they broke up, or at least maybe a year that year they broke up. I'd have to look it up, but
My brother saw them reunite at Coachella in 2007.
Oh, yeah, that's
I was
cool.
I was in 7th grade, and you know, I hated riding the bus home, and sometimes he'd come to school to pick me up, so I don't have to deal with the bus. But
Yeah.
I tried calling him, but I'm like, oh wait, that's right, he's in California. But yeah, Rage is huge on me. But also, I got to see Prophets of Rage on the rail at Patriot Center, my alma mater. I'm a graduate of George Mason University, so that
just
was
seeing Tom Morello up close is probably awesome.
yeah.
too.
I was right. I was actually directly
What a cool guy.
right in front of Tim Comerford, and people were shouting, and he just playing like no one, like he's alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
You almost have to drown it out. I don't think if people were screaming at me like that, I could concentrate. But I feel like they probably have in-ears. So they probably can't even hear the
Yeah,
people.
true.
Unless they have crowd mics. They probably have a crowd mic or two.
Oh, probably, yeah. But it was so cool. Like Chuck D came and dapped people up, and
That's
so
cool.
that was awesome
Yeah.
to be able to do that. But
2 great bands combined into one. I like seeing those bands because I like that, but I'd rather see the original band separately.
oh yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
or playing the same show together would be dope.
yeah,
I feel like when Rage comes back, maybe they would get those 2 groups together.
yeah, possibly.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Or at least whatever, incarnation of them is currently here.
Yeah, I'm glad they keep it going one way or the other, like with Audio Slave, and then and Tom Morello just does his own thing, and I know Brad Wilk helped on some Black Sabbath, and they all stay busy, like whether Rage is active or not, and I know Zach De La Roca did a verse in the Run the Jewels song, which was
okay, yeah.
awesome. That was cool.
That's cool. I like seeing cool collaborations.
Yeah, especially because he's been out of the spotlight so long.
And I'm all about that. Like when I'm working with bands, I love trying to connect with other managers that have interesting bands or bands that I think would be great together. You know what I mean? So what's pretty cool is on Netflix right now, they have the original Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, what year was that from?
Oh, like 90 something.
Probably as old as I am.
96, I want to say.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
go back. It's the one where they actually have the live type of things. The original movie. Let's see when it says.
Oh,
1990,
So it's
yeah,
30 years
so-
old this year.
I remember seeing. My dad took me to go see the live show
They
where
did
they
a
had
live
these.
show.
Yeah, with the and it was similar to these costumes. It wasn't like all the new fancy stuff they do. But this was the best one, man.
Yeah, I've
This
never
was
seen it.
like.
That's
complaints ranging from purse snatching to breaking and
Anyone who's around my age or older will appreciate this.
Yeah, no,
Even though they can't see us.
My brother definitely.
They can hear this and they know what's happening.
Surge of crime that continues to plague the city.
Passing around the wallet.
It's fitting that we're watching this because we just had some pizza.
Instead of getting better,
Somewhat.
things have actually
Because we just
gotten
had some
worse.
pizza, so it's fitting
Oh,
that we're
yeah.
watching
Even
this.
more alarming
Yep.
is the baffling and often bizarre nature of these crimes. Merchandise of every size and description, from skateboards to stereo systems, has been disappearing from store shelves and storage areas at an alarming rate.
Uh-oh. Been cleaned out.
Even the victims themselves rarely catch a glimpse of the thieves. Many don't even know they've been victimized until it's too late.
Wow.
In fact, police have yet to come up with a single eyewitness.
How to get
Only
down
a
that
few
fast.
vague reports of young boys
know.
or teenagers at the scenes
The
have
Foot
been
Clan, though.
filed.
Jeez.
But whoever is behind these crimes, one thing is certain. These
I love
are
the
much
90s
more than
grit,
just a series
Yeah.
of random, isolated
And how it
incidents.
looks and like. Because even though this was in 90, this was like at the tail end of the 80s, so it's still a lot of. It's basically an 80s movie.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Good music.
Yeah. No, this was a classic, man. Let's get to where the turtles are. Oh, yeah.
Oh, drums.
Yeah. This is definitely 90s.
Major League butt kicking is back in town.
There he is.
I just love the live action costumes, not like all the animated stuff they have now.
Right.
I mean, it's good, but this is it.
It's timeless.
Excellent. Come on, let's move it. I'm starving. Ooh, we're bacon. Major pizza.
And they do a good job of having each personality.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
It's definitely not what a sewer looks like, but
Some do.
yeah.
Well, that might not be like. Well, a sewer doesn't always mean that there's like water flowing through it. Sometimes it's just the drain area to go to the sewer and stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? I've never been to the sewer.
Yeah,
Have you?
neither have I, but
Yeah, you're sitting here talking like you know what a sewer looks
well,
like.
I mean, I don't. It probably like.
The ones in New York are huge, dude. You can definitely walk down there.
Oh really? Yeah, I haven't been.
Even the ones around here you can walk through.
Oh really?
You might not be able to get out, but
I
you
guess
can walk
I'm
through.
I guess I'm thinking like.
That's why kids like get stuck down there because they crawl in and then they get stuck in the sewer walking around. No, I don't know. It probably depends.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been, but
Our domain is the shadow. Stray from it reluctantly, for when you do, you must strike hard and fade away without a trace.
I lost the sign.
Then it is gone.
But I can get it back. I can get it back.
Raphael, let it go.
sound effects.
Yeah. Dude, the best sound effects.
Your ninja skills are reaching their peak. Only one truly important lesson remains, but must wait.
See, they still have the costumes, but like the eyes and the mouths move.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. And with technology now, you're telling me you can't do one similar to this that are better?
Teenage minds
I'm sure they could recreate it.
eager, but you must never stop practicing the art of ninja, the art of invisibility.
Oh, but no anchovies. And I mean no anchovies. You put
Payphone.
anchovies on this thing and you're in big trouble, okay?
I can let you know.
That'll do. And the clock's ticking, dude.
You are still young, but one day I will be gone. Use my teachings wisely. I suggest we all meditate now. on the events of this evening.
Splinter. It's definitely a 90s thing to put him in there dancing.
Yeah, for sure. And that song. Tequila. Oh.
Well, this is like meditating. Hey, Raph, where are you going?
Out to a movie. That okay with you?
Yeah. Suck it to me, baby.
Yeah, so this was back in the good old days.
Yeah, looks like it.
I'm a big sports fan. I'm from Baltimore. You're from Virginia. So you're a Redskins and National fan.
Yeah.
I am a Ravens and Orioles. And I think we actually have a lot in common. And we talked earlier is that as a Ravens fan, I think talking to most Ravens fan, we don't have any beef or like we don't dislike any Washington teams. In fact,
Right.
it's almost like a brother team to us. And like we root for them when we're not playing against them.
Right, yeah.
I do notice that some Redskins fans, and I think it stems from the Orioles national thing going on with the media and all that stuff, and I think that's why there's some thing. But for us, I guess since we're the ones that have it, and
They were there first.
yeah, like we don't look at it, but I can see now why Nationals fans are like, well, this should be split 50-50 and all this other stuff like that and whatnot. But
Yeah.
so I have no beef with them, but I'm still reeling over our loss the other week. And I have a friend coming in, and I have a sports guy coming in, and we're going to do a podcast together. It's going to be over the phone, but he has a sports podcast, so I'm going to have him coming in because he follows sports a lot more closely. I'm more following music and different stuff like that, where
Right.
he'll follow sports more closely, and so it'll be good to have him in here. Talk about that. But yeah, man, just as a Ravens fan, it looked like it was ours to lose, and we did. To me, we lost it. I mean, we blew the game. Not that Tennessee didn't win it, because they certainly deserved to win. They were much better on that day. I mean, every time we messed up, they took full advantage of it and scored, and that's what you want. So
Yeah.
they fully won that game. But when I say I blew it, I don't want to take anything away from Tennessee, but we blew it. I'm still hurting over that one. Like,
Amazing year though. For like Lamar Jackson just bloomed out of no like he's got a bright. I'm excited to see what
well, that's another thing too. Yes, I'm disappointed short term, but I also look at it long term. Like, he was so disappointed at last year. He came back and he had an amazing season.
Yeah.
Imagine after this loss, what's going to motivate him to get even better, and know that, like, okay, I know I have to get better at throwing because I can't always run it, especially with the way Greg Roman calls the schemes and stuff like that, because we threw way too much. And you could even see him picking apart Tennessee at one point when he was allowed to run. Now, we don't want to do that every game. You don't want to tire him out, but
Right.
it's got to be 50-50 at the least, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm very lucky that they had a sale recently because all his jerseys sold out. So most of my jerseys, to be honest with you, I'm not ashamed to admit this, is like from China or something. Like,
Right.
It's like $60 jerseys that are stitched, which are great because to me they're the equivalent of like the mid-tier Nike jersey, where it's like it's stitched but it's not the on-field one. But those are like $150. So me paying $60 as opposed to $150, it might not be official, but everything else is stitched and nice. So
Yeah, it
and
looks
most
good.
of the jerseys I see out there are fake.
Yeah.
I noticed that. You can just tell different things. Sometimes, like, luckily the ones I've gotten are all legit as far as like the swooshes are the correct way and all that stuff. Because sometimes they're backwards.
Yeah.
Because they think they'll switch them where it'll look when you're looking at it. It looks like it's the right way, but it's not because it's the same way this way. They should actually be both facing the same way.
Yeah.
Towards, I think it's supposed to be the swoosh away. So if it's on the side, the swoosh is coming up like this.
Oh,
I don't know. I could be mixing it up, but they both go the same way on the jersey, whereas some of the fake ones, they're like backwards, or they're one's one way, one's the other. Because it looks like it should be that way, but it's not.
Yeah, I never paid attention to that. The only I have two NFL. I have a Ryan Kerrigan jersey. I love him. think he's a beast. But
Yeah.
then the other jersey I have, the only reason I do have a Titans jersey, but my brother and I were born in Houston, and we moved over to Virginia when I was a baby. But before that, they were big Oilers fans, and Tennessee's the same franchise.
Was McNair on that one?
Yeah.
On the Oiler? Okay,
Yep.
yeah. And then we had
yeah.
him we had him with the Ravens for a little bit later in his career.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I loved him so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but I have a Chris Johnson one. That's why I brought it up, because it was still Reebok when they were.
Oh yeah.
Because they've recently switched
Well, yeah.
to Nike.
I have a few Reebok ones as well, and then but what I was saying is that sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
Finish that. Was there anything else?
I think that was it.
That was
Because
basically
you were
it,
talking
yeah.
about the swoosh, and I'm like, I still got a Reebok one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I've had real ones, but then the players come and go so quickly nowadays that it was like, for a while I didn't buy them. That's why it wasn't worth it, because like even like the mid-tier ones were like $199 at one point, and then they were like $350. Right now, the customized NFL ones which are the only ones in stock, are like $369.
Oh yeah, I saw your post earlier about
And then the mid-tier ones are $149, and then the lower tier ones that are just screen printed, they're not stitched on. They're like still $100. So you might as well get the mid-tier. You might as well spend the $50 extra to get the mid-tier one.
Yeah.
So I finally got a black Lamar Jackson, but I got the mid-tier one because they didn't have any on field. But my goal, honestly, because I actually sold when they sold out in December and they had 0 like jerseys anywhere. I had a bunch of them, so I sold them, and I was going to use that money to buy an official one, like an on-field one, and then I basically get an on-field one, and I have some money left over. So I was waiting for it, and I was like, man, I don't want to wait, and I saw that they had some mid-tier ones that came available recently, so I bought that maybe like 2 weeks ago. So I bought a black one that was a mid-tier one. I'm like, oh, shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's still stitched, it's good, but it was a large, and I tend to get medium. But I also remember trying one on where the medium fit, but I knew I couldn't put a hoodie on underneath or something, or wear it out to a game if it was cold, because I'd have to wear it under something, and that kind of defeats the purpose of it.
Yeah, it kind of hugs it tight.
Yeah, so I got a large, but I just have a feeling it's going to be too big to a degree.
I think I'm a 2XL.
Yeah, but I don't know, because jerseys, and it's just because jerseys tend to be cut big.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if I get a large, it might be more like an extra large on me.
Oh yeah.
Or whereas a medium might be more like a large, is what I'm hoping. But anyway, I got the jersey, and then I was looking online, and it just, I guess because I got the jersey, all the the analytics always do, and the algorithms started putting ads in my Facebook and stuff.
That is such a pet peeve.
And I saw that they had official on-field jerseys for sale that they must have reproduced. They must have had like 10 in stock or something like that at period, and they were the purple ones. So since I had the black, I'm like, oh shit, and I looked, and it was the medium. I'm like, oh shit. So I went and I got the purple Lamar Jackson on field one, but the only reason I spent the money was because for the price of one on field normally, I got 2 jerseys because it was 65% off the jersey.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it might not have been it said 65, but that's more than 50, and it wasn't more than 50. So maybe it was something more like 40% off.
Maybe there's also some shipping charges that.
Oh yeah, total. Let me see.
Yeah.
You said 239 would have been 65%. So I guess they took 35% off.
That's different than. 65.
Yeah, they advertised it wrong, but I only paid around $200 for a $370 jersey.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, so I got that off of it. Maybe that is around there. I don't know. So I only paid $350 altogether for both these jerseys. One's an official on field, and and I still have plenty of money left over from the jersey. Not plenty of money, but I have money left over from the jerseys that I got what I wanted out of it. Because sometimes when you get the fake ones, again, the swooshes are wrong, or I notice the collars are funky.
Yeah, too.
Because I think they do it to the exact specifications of the NFL ones, but since they're in China, they don't know. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing the exact specification, but they don't take into account the elastic, and also that they're wearing pads.
Oh yeah.
So it's funky shaped, and the neck always will stick up in the back, almost like a collar.
Oh yeah.
And that's how you can tell the fake ones too.
Yeah, I
So
couldn't
a
wear
couple
that.
of the ones I've been lucky that some of the ones that aren't official that I have they don't stick up in the back. Like the Mark Andrews one I have, it's supposed to dip a little bit in the back.
Oh, in the
And
back.
yeah, and that creates a little bit, and that's why it doesn't,
Oh, that
like
makes
have that
sense.
flap. So whereas the other ones are just straight across
Yeah.
and they're too tight in the middle, I don't know. It looks like what they do is they add the fabric to the already stitched shirt instead of having the stitched shirt be part of like that fabric, if that makes sense, like the collar of it. They add on at the end.
Yeah.
So then it just sticks up. But who knows?
Yeah,
Anyway,
that'd be uncomfortable.
the
And
point is I have so now, but I'm happy because I got Lamar, so he's going to be around. That was the point. He's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
that was
he
the whole
is.
point of me getting the jersey thing. Was we were talking that I finally got the jerseys and I spent the money because I know he's going to be around, and he's such a dynamic player that even when he leaves or he retires, it's still a jersey worth having.
Oh yeah.
you know.
He created a good name for.
I would do.
himself.
I have a Ray Lewis one too, but from the Super Bowl when they won the
Oh
Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah.
Actually, both of them. I have his jersey from the most recent one with the Super Bowl thing on it.
Oh, okay,
that was an
yeah.
official one too that I got. And I can wear that, but I don't really wear that as much anymore
Yeah, it's
because I love Ray Lewis, but I also like he gets on my nerves. Like he preaches a lot, and he's like, I don't know, he's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But I love him too. He's like the greatest. You know,
Yeah,
he's like such a big. Him and like Cal Ripken and stuff are like big
Oh,
sports
yeah.
figures for me, in
Cal Ripken's
in Baltimore.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we lost that, and that really sucks, and I was pretty depressed. But and then Kobe passed away.
Dude,
Ugh.
I'm still wrapping my head around that.
I don't even know what to say.
The
whole Kobe thing, like to me, he was still relevant, but like I forget that to younger generations, like he's like old.
Yeah, he was.
To me, he's young because he's only like
41. That's a young.
yeah, he's 6 years older than me.
That's a young age, and he was
But like that's their Jordan. Like,
he was
but
bigger than
to
basketball.
me, it was like Jordan was my Jordan.
Yeah.
And Kobe was great too, but I always put him 1A, 1B, but Kobe was more like 1D to me, like
Yeah.
right down like
Kim and
but-
Shaq were so dominant, that's like they were the dynamic duo to me. I was
Jordan though, he did it. I know he had Pippen and he had a great team in general because it worked well together, but like Jordan took over games.
Now you
and
got
he
that-
was clutch.
now you got that.
Kobe had that clutch thing, but that's why I don't know. I like Jordan. I'm gonna have my buddy who has, I think we started to talk. He's gonna come in. He has a sports podcast, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in depth and sports in general. But like, and I've seen a lot of people like, oh, you can. They're poo-pooing us for feeling bad that someone and their 13-year-old daughter passed, and to me, it's not about celebrity and stuff.
Right.
It's more of a human level.
Yeah,
and
it-
he was a
absolutely.
huge part of me growing up because to be
Same,
honest,
yeah.
growing up, I was always a Jordan guy, and when people would bring up, oh, Jordan Corbin, I'm like, no, it's Jordan, no question. I almost didn't like Kobe for a little bit, and then when all the stuff with his wife and the cheating, but I can't judge someone else. They're poo-pooing people for. This is social media these days. Is that
media's toxic.
you're like, oh man, that's such a horrible thing to happen, and they're turning it into, well, Marines die in airplane crashes or hell. I'm like, listen, the world isn't one or the other. Like just because I feel bad for Kobe doesn't mean I don't feel bad for Marines.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe the Marines aren't as every single crash isn't publicized every time because it doesn't happen, or because it doesn't happen all the time, or if it does, it's kept secret because it's military operation.
Right.
I
Yeah,
get it,
that's another thing.
but just because I feel thing doesn't mean I don't feel for Marine. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I can feel bad for a sports figure in the entertainment industry, but also feel bad for and appreciate what our military does for us on a daily basis.
NBA Jam, and then
Oh yeah,
HFS.
so HFS was so popular and the DJs like Weasel and stuff like that, they were like nationally famous to where NBA Jam, you could play as Weasel from like HFS, and he was this really skinny dude, but he would like if you caught him on fire, he'd be like unstoppable, just shooting, and just HFS HFSTIVALs, man. Some of these lineups.
Yeah, I'd seen some of the lineups. Like someone was telling me about when presidents of the United States of America, the band.
Ballyhoo was on here on a few of them.
Really? They must have been like 19.
Yeah, they were younger. They were probably in their early 20s, maybe late teens, early 20s.
That's
for sure.
pretty cool.
They were. I assume they were probably on a local stage. Maybe I don't know if they ever played the main stage, but that's still fucking awesome.
Wow, Silverchair, Lit, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. So they'd have this and chili cook-off. Jeez, this place was stacked with good festivals.
So listen to some of these, and like these were all within the same show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they would probably have about 12 to 15 headliners play, and they would all. I don't know if they were shorter. Most festivals do about 30 minutes each, but I want to say not. Like I remember when it was like Jay-Z and Eminem, and but here's some of the big ones like Limp Bizkit, Run DMC, Bush, 311, Everclear, Filter, Buckcherry, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, Power Man, 5000, Fuel,
Jeez,
Rage Against the Machine, Stone Temple Pilots, Third Eye Blind, Cypress Hill, Godsmack, Bloodhound Gang, Vertical Horizon, Deftones, Live, Green Day, Incubus, Tenacious D, Three Doors Down, The Cult, Fuel, Lifehouse, Seven Dust, Newfound Glory. SR-71 was another local band. That had a few hits, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Right Now is that's a song. It's one of my favorite songs.
Some of these are repeats on this one. Linkin Park, Good Charlotte, Lifehouse, American Little Killer, Paul Oakenfour, Eminem, Hoopastank, Sum 41, Strokes.
Interpol.
Let's see. Yeah, Papa Roach. Some of these are repeats depending on the year.
Yeah.
Because they had Dashboard. Jane's Addiction, Chevelle, The Roots, AFI, Jack Johnson, The Used, Donna's Finch, The Cure,
Chevelle.
The Offspring, Newfound Glory, Violent Femme, Cypress Hill. Yeah, see, a lot of these are starting to repeat depending on the year.
Billy
Yeah,
Idol
May,
was
22,
there.
24, 23. Okay, this is as we get. But here's the thing. I'm just saying the main stage, but here's the thing. Some of the street stage or the outer stages, they had big bands too, like Long Dub Beach All-Star, like not, I guess not compared to them, but like even Good Charlotte played the side stage, Newfound Glory. Like there's some years where like some of the big bands would play the side stages or the street stages also. So it was just stacked that year. The one that stuck out to me was the one with Limp Bizkit because that was when they were good.
Yeah.
And everyone throwing the water bottles. I wish I could pull up. Maybe I can pull.
Could I actually interject for the year 2002 for a second?
Yeah.
Do you remember Gob? G-O-B.
No.
They had a song. My brother.
Where are they? I don't even see
right,
it
right
on
there, right above the cursor.
Oh, Gob, yeah.
Yeah.
Loudermilk.
No, Gob.
Citizen Cope.
There was
Vines.
My brother used to work at the movie theater, and right next to it was Tower Records. And on his break, he got a Gob CD. It's called Foot and Mouth Disease. One of their songs that was on that album was on Madden 2004 and printed my understanding for music. Like those little bands are special to me. Like I would have loved to go back in time and see.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. These, even the ones on the side stage were like big bands that like people were into.
Hot heat.
So like it wouldn't just, the main stage wouldn't just be headliners. It would basically be almost every single. Here's a good year. I guess it was 2004. The Cure, Offspring, Jay-Z, P.O.D., Newfound Glory, Violent Femme, Cypress Hill, Papa Roach, Lost Prophets, Yellow Card, OER, Voodoo Blue, Modest Mouse.
Wow.
Yeah, Yeahs, Lit, The Living End. The Living End's one of my favorite bands from Australia. I like when he stands. I like when he stands on his bass. He's got a stand-up bass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, have you ever seen him?
I've never seen them, but
they have a stand, and he stands up on the top of it, and he balances on it while he plays it. It's crazy.
That's weird. Because I remember one of their songs was on Guitar Hero 2 that has stuck with me ever since.
Oh,
it's
okay,
called,
yeah. Look, Street Stage. This is the lineup: Fall Out Boy, Taking Back Sunday, who are like headliners now, were like on the street stage.
Yeah.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack, Star Hides Fire, Washington Social Club, Army and Me, Jaw Works, A File, Ballyhoo. Yeah, Subculture, Underscore, Even Out.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Started to get a little bit, I don't know, just the older ones, like the 2000s, 96 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Interstate, Goldfinger, Foo Fighters, Cracker,
Jeez.
Afghan Wigs. I don't know. Presidents of the United States. That was good. Garbage, Jewel, Jim Blossoms. That was a weird year because it, no doubt, Everclear, Lush, Jawbox. Because it's kind of like that '90s where you had bands like Jewel and like Presidents of the United States.
Yeah.
That's still a great song. See, that's a song that I feel like for a long time got on for a while got on people's nerves after a while. Like Peaches.
Oh, Peaches. Yeah, that's a good
Or I
one.
think, or it was like a single. It was like a big pop hit, but then it went away. But now, like I miss it. Now I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one.
They were
Haven't heard that. This is
interesting.
looking at this is bringing back so many memories of my childhood of like, just like
Mighty
good
Boss Stones.
bands.
Yeah. Prodigy.
yeah, Beck, Jamiroquai, Echo. So you can tell like by who's playing like the different genres and things that were popular that year.
Yeah.
You know, and you can just see how it goes. And then I feel like the '98 through like 2002 were probably the best ones, where it was like the Green Day, Scott Weiland, Foo Fighters, Mighty Boss Tones, Everclear, Bare Naked Ladies, Wyclef Jean, Marcy Playground, Soul Coughing, Semisonic,
Semisonic.
Cherry Pop, and you can see all the different like bands. Safe Ferris, Fastball was a good.
They're coming to a city winery in
a good
DC.
couple. A lot of these bands had like only a couple hits, but like they were like good bands though.
Yeah.
Those hits were good.
Fun to watch.
I wouldn't call them one hit wonders, but I wouldn't call them like
Many hit wonders.
Yeah. Sugar Ray, Orgy. Orgy was big for a while. I remember that band.
Sugar
Blink 182, Lit, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. Oh, they main staged it. They were the openers.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know any of those local ones. But, Two Skinny Jays.
Yeah, Two Skinny Jays. They were on the 311 cruise. I wonder if 311 played that year. No.
No, not that year. But Sugar Ray, Chili Peppers, Offspring, Goo Goo Dolls. Live is one of my. Throwing Copper is one of my.
He's
favorite
weird
albums.
on stage. He does these weird dance moves. He's like Scott Weilandish, but like weird.
Who's
Scott,
that?
the singer from Live.
Oh, Ed Kowalczyk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tall.
And he's also talks weird. Like he says these really like just stupid things. He's like, melt with me or whatever. Just like all this other shit. I saw him a long time ago.
Oh, really?
But yeah, HF Festival was it for me. So back with Darien, we're talking about, you have a new single out, right?
I do. It came out on January 3rd. It's called The One Where I Pour My Heart Out.
You're more of a singer-songwriter as far as your solo music.
My
and
solo
your
stuff,
music
I'm
is.
not in a band for my solo stuff. I would like to be in. That's another reason it was acoustic. So I can play because my other stuff, it's all me playing all the instruments, and it's
Right.
and there's only one me. I can't. There's not four of me to play live.
There isn't?
I mean, I'd love to have a band, but also find it like making more acoustic stuff so I can play out more. So that's what I've been working on, as well as another band I'm in called Blake G and the Expertise. Blake G is he's my neighbor. Growing up, we went to first grade together. We were in Boy Scouts, and he became a rapper. He's such a good lyricist, and so we put together a band, and we've been working on that as well.
Okay, we'll play a quick clip from the one where I pour my heart out.
No matter the distance, I wish you would stay. I had every chance and I blew it away. I wish I made time for you, not for myself. And now I'm struggling in my own hell. My brand new apartment, I wish you could see. But now you're with someone, that someone's not me. You're probably laughing cause you're just too happy and moved way on from me.
Cool. I like that, man.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Appreciate that.
I like the I like the guitar work. I like the lyrics and all the meaning behind it. Because I think if you're a musician, a lot of the best stuff comes out of things that you go through.
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
Shows coming up. And gigs.
Any gigs? Yeah. So every Sunday I'm at H Mart in Fairfax, at Bar Louie, Green Turtle, all around the area. And so I just stay busy with that, as well as my own music.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest host today and showing us your music too, because I always like to spotlight music, especially if they're musicians that come in and do the show with me. So I appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Awesome. Great conversation. Awesome having guest hosts in. So thank you to Darien again. And look forward to the next one. We're going to have Zach Bellas in studio. We did a video with this as well. So look on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, YouTube. We're going to get that going soon too. So we'll have that video out as well. So thank you for tuning